With climatologists have been sending warnings of increased forest fires as an effect of climate change as far as back as decades, the president, in the face of devastating wildfires in California, has his own theories. Exploding trees.
When trees fall down after a short period of time, about 18 months, they become very dry. They become really like a matchstick. And they get up, there's no more water pouring through. And they become very, they just explode. They can explode. Also, leaves. When you have years of leaves, dried leaves on the ground, it just sets it up. It's really a fuel for a fire.
Exploding trees. I think it should be very obvious that trees do not explode. Now, look, dry conditions exacerbated by climate change, reducing the amounts of rainfall, along with things, of course, like lightning strikes, campfires, that are out of control, or gender reveal parties. They could be the spark that starts these devastating wildfires. But, of course, underlying all of that are the dry conditions that make it much more likely for there to be an out-of-control wildfire. However, of course, Donald Trump seems to only understand part of the issue here, and that's the dry conditions, but doesn't really understand anything else.
Obviously, forest management in California is very important, and now it extends to Washington and extends also to Oregon. There has to be good, strong forest management, which I've been talking about for 3 years with the state, so hopefully they'll start doing that.
So he thinks that, no, it doesn't have anything to do with climate change. No, we just have to do forest management. We just have to rake the forests. Again, that's exactly, and he even said, I've been calling for that for 3 years. Got to have very strong forest management because we're not going to do anything about climate change. In fact, here he is talking about raking the forest the last time there were devastating forest fires.
You've got to take care of the floors, the floors of the forests, very important. I was with the president of Finland, and he said, we have a much different, we're a forest nation. He called it a forest nation. And they spend a lot of time on raking and cleaning and doing things, and they don't have any problem. And when it is, it's a very small problem.
Actually, they do have a problem with forest fires as well. And so the Finnish president was like, no, that's not true at all. That's not what we do. Look, the guy's a moron. But look, here's the thing about Trump. The answer is right in front of him, right? But he can't do it. He can't admit it. He can't admit it that climate change plays a role in these forest fires by creating drier conditions that lead to, again, out of control forest fires. But no, it's forest management. We just need to rake the forests. Look, there's always going to be forest fires, right? Yeah, of course. It's part of the cycle of renewal. In some cases, forest fires, for clearing out, old dead forests and all that, help for the cycle of renewal, okay? And then help new things to grow by eliminating yield. But at the same time, the thing about these fires is they've been exacerbated by climate change, and they've actually damaged human settlements, right? Cities, towns. And not only that, but because of the conditions, they're actually more difficult to put out and do more extensive damage. And so that's not good. That's not good at all. In fact, you know what? According to researchers at the University of California, they found, and they wrote this in a 2019 report, that in the American West, climate change has increased the risk of fire weather fivefold and has doubled how much land is burned. So now it's not just cycle of renewal, it's also even more destructive than it was before. And again, destroying towns, things like that. And so it's also projected to get worse as climate change gets worse. So that's not a problem that's going to be solved with quote-unquote forest management. And by the way, speaking of that, right, California has 33 million acres of forest. That comprises about a third of the state. You know how big California is. Again, 33 million acres of forest land. How much money and how much time, how many people would be required to go and rake that amount of forest? constantly as well. It's not like, it's one and done. You know, it's like building an interstate highway. You just do it once and then you're good to go. No, there's maintenance. Well, same for the highway, but there's constant cleaning. What's going to happen every fall? No, it's ridiculous. It's ridiculous. It's a stupid idea. But look, it would be super expensive as opposed to say, I don't know, actually maybe doing something about climate change. Maybe to try to reduce our emissions, you know? Maybe do a Green New Deal. Maybe create millions of jobs to go along with it. Help the environment. It seems like, you know, it would actually be easier than just to continue to try to, quote unquote, maintain and continue raking the forest as things continue to get worse. And look, if your overall plan is to say, well, hey, look, if things get warmer and the forests become deserts, well, then we won't have to spend as much raking the forest because there won't be any. Well, I mean, that's some real big brain idea right there. But I would rather not have most of the country become barren desert. I'm just saying. I mean, yeah, you'd save money on the raking, but, you know, you would have some other issues as well. Look, it's pretty dumb that someone could actually come up with that idea. But again, I don't put it past Republicans at all. They openly deny climate change while secretly knowing that it's a problem, but not giving a shit because the money's too damn good. I don't know if Donald Trump's in that camp. I really do think he's that stupid. I mean, just the inability or unwillingness to see the problem that is obvious and right in your face. The solution is also in your face. Do something about climate change, and he can't do that. I mean, is it willful ignorance, or is it just pure stupidity? Maybe it's both. I don't know. Maybe he's coming up with comically stupid solutions so that he can avoid the real problems. Or maybe he really does believe that all we got to do is very strong forest management and rake the forests, and then we won't have a problem like Finland. I don't know. I don't know what... I don't know. I cannot get in the mind of a moron. And you know what? Something tells me that if I ever were able to see into his mind, just the attempt would drive me insane.